So, wanted to do a little sit-down video and talk to my beloved fans. There's been a topic that's been near and deep to my heart for a while, and that's the subject of the Beatles biopic coming out. That's, next year? Was it 2027 or 2028 it's supposed to be released? One of the two. Now, I've been hearing rumors left and right. I've got the pure hawk mind on this. I've been seeing everything like a hawk, okay? A little bit, mainly rumors for now, but I have seen the pictures and names of these actors that they got to play the Beatles. Throughout this whole project, I have been keeping an open mind about this. Maybe they could slap some makeup, change the hair, and, they'll look like the Beatles eventually. Maybe there is hope for this project. Hope. That's all we have. That's what Star Wars taught me. But then I saw the pictures, and I'm kind of scared. I'm kind of scared, not gonna lie. Now, do I know anything about the Beatles? A young teenager in this generation? Well, let me tell you something. They're the frickin' Beatles. If you don't know the Beatles, you don't know music. Okay? And how much of a fan am I? Oh, I'll tell you. Only enough to buy a Paul McCartney like bass. I have magazines for days of the Beatles. And also keep in mind, I do love a good biopic, but I love a biopic where the actor actually looks like the guy. Like, what's his name? Aaron Taylor Johnson. He did a good job playing young John Lennon in the movie Nowhere Boy. Rami Malek, I want to say is his name, did a terrific job as Freddie Mercury. Austin Butler, terrific job as Elvis. The list goes on. But this, I'm really skeptical on. Let's take a little deep dive. Let's start where I had hope, okay? Start off with Paul McCartney. Right off the bat, we have Paul Mescal. I don't know if I've ever actually seen him in anything. I might have seen a movie with him in it and not noticed it, but this name I have not recognized. I have not recognized any of these actors before. But Paul Mescal as Paul McCartney, I feel like that was a joke that they made. Oh, we got a Paul playing Paul. Okay. This one, I give it a 7 out of 10. It does look this photo's in the Cavern Cave Club. Looks a lot like Paul McCartney in the Liverpool days. I will give him that. The hair, yes, looks like him. I mean, it really can pass as Paul McCartney. This one is solid. It's pretty solid. Now let's get the one that I'm iffy on, okay? See, Gary Keegan as Ringo Starr. This photo looks like it's taken around 1968, I want to say. Probably around the Let It Be sessions. Okay, the face, to me, it doesn't match up exactly to Ringo, which I'm not expecting him to look exactly like the Beatles. Nobody can look exactly like someone else. But, it's just, I don't know, it's just a vibe that I get that it just makes me want to go, are we sure we checked around? And first I gotta look up, is any one of these dudes actually from Liverpool or England at all? Okay, so it appears to be Harris Dickinson playing John Lennon and Joseph Quinn playing George Harrison are actually from England. Okay, so, maybe they will actually learn the accent, and they will, well, I mean, they probably already do have the accent, but they'll make it more Beatlesy, as I like to say. And Paul McCartney and Ringo are Irish. Now, the Beatles, they were Irish. A few of those guys were Irish. So, getting some good casting, picking around. Did they pick the right person? So far, I'm not entirely sure. Now, let's move on to the next photo I saw that honestly really had me scared for this movie. Now, oh my god. Joseph Quinn as George Harrison. I saw this photo, and I thought, Are we sure that's George Harrison? Or Lieutenant Dan? I'm sorry, I'm looking at that and I just see him cussing out Forrest Gump. I'm looking at that and I'm also wondering, is he trying to go play Kurt Cobain after this? Because he looks like he's been hitting a needle of some kind backstage. I know that the hippies that were kind of shaping the Beatles' music in 1969 with, some LSD, a little bit of Mary Jane from Bob Dylan. But I think this one might be a method actor, y'all. Because I just, what is going on? What is going on? Ringo was meh. Paul McCartney, solid. George, I do not see George Harrison in this photo at all. I do not see it. And now the next photo I see, we got John Lennon coming up. Okay, now Dickinson. Oh wow, I've been pronouncing that wrong. Dickinson. I was thinking The Incredibles, that the guy that helped out the family go and hide. God, okay. Yeah. Also, not to mention, when I found these photos at first, it looked a little blurry, so I thought I was seeing an R. But anyways, it's Dickinson, okay, as John Lennon. This photo, I think this could be a diamond in the rough, probably, because this is a very dark photo here. The hair looks a lot like 68 John Lennon. Glasses in the frames, perfect. You can't screw up the glasses. It's impossible to screw up the glasses. Facial structure wise, looks pretty decent actually. I would rank him probably one notch below Paul. I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt because I can't give it a full accurate opinion on this so far. So maybe if we had an actual trailer or a better, clearer picture where he's not in a dark room, could be a terrible John Lennon. Could be, we could be looking at a George Harrison situation here, or we could be looking at a guy that we're like, holy crap, is that John Lennon? I'm not sure. Butters from South Park, I think you might find a new guy if this could be him, which we hope not. I hope Butters, I hope you don't go through that again. Yeah. Now, look, personally, I think it's a little ballsy to do a Beatles biopic, because you got musicians that you could definitely do a biopic on, and wouldn't kill a director's reputation. The Beatles, the fan base, if you screw this up, dude, millions upon millions of people will be ticked off. I mean, you got the grandparents who probably saw the Beatles live. You got the younger generation who's heard the Beatles. I mean, who has not heard of the Beatles? They truly inspired almost every musician known to man. And, I mean, inspired music, period. Helter Skelter was the first ever metal song. Without them, we would not even have Black Sabbath. And not to mention the Beatles as a whole, the Beatles separately each had their own inspirational things. I mean, John Lennon, that's my freaking hero right there. I mean, I try to be like him. People say that, I'm this generation's Bob Dylan, which I think it's cool. And also, John Lennon hung out with Bob Dylan. I think he looked up to him too. I can't verify that, but that's just what I see. But anyways, it's one of those things where the casting has to be perfect or near perfect. If you're actually going to cast this guy as George Harrison, please step up the makeup, step up the hair. Just don't make him look like he's strung out and like he ain't got no legs and is about to get the legs that they put on the spaceships. Lieutenant Dan, I got ice cream. Because that's what I'm going to be saying in the movie theater. And I forgot. I read somewhere that's going to be a long movie. They're supposed to do 4 individual movies. And I forgot how long. Let me see if I can find how long these movies are supposed to last. So just look it up. If you combine the length time of all these movies together, you're looking at a 7-hour and 48-minute movie. And it's supposed to be the perspective of the Beatles' history told through each member's eyes. So, like, one movie's going to be about Ringo and how Ringo saw it. One's supposed to be John and how John saw it. If I'm going to see a 2-hour film about George Harrison, I want to see George Harrison. I want to hear something similar to George Harrison, what he would have thought. I don't want to see a knockoff of some guy you found just out in Hollywood with a thumb out like, hey, we'll work for acting, we'll work for food, we'll do anything, literally anything at all. Can you sound British? I don't know, governor. Yep. He's gonna be the next Beatle. Next Beatle. I mean, when they casted Tom Hiddleston as Hank Williams Sr., I was like, do what? But he nailed it, not gonna lie. Just the singing, it didn't sound like Hank Sr., but it was pretty dang close to it if you asked me. So, I'm still keeping an open mind, but hopefully in the movies they actually show their voices, their acting, and they, step up the lighting in some trailers maybe, and actually just show a good image of these Beatles. And then I think the public will have a general opinion. I personally think that maybe this movie is going to be good. Probably as good as the Elvis movie. But only time will tell, dear viewers. So, comment down below if you plan to watch these movies, and what do you think of the casting? I know when I first saw these actors with no pictures, I went, holy heck, we are screwed. But by these pictures, we might be screwed. Might. Not will, but might.